Yo, what's up, guys? This is D Brown with Track Headz. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Track Headz. So, as you guys know, it's currently the first day, actually it's the second day, but we're going over the first day of the Olympic trials that's going on in Eugene, Oregon. I'm not there because I have, business to settle. I have a track team that I'm working with, and we have some qualifiers and meets and stuff like that, so wasn't able to make it, but we'll be talking about what's going on the first day. We had a lot of different events. We had the women's 100. We had the men's 1500. We had the women's 800. We had 10,000. We had a bunch of different events here. I'm going to talk about some of the ones that caught my eye. So just kind of bear with me. I may forget a couple of things, but I'm just going off the top of my head because it was such a good first day, quality first day, that it's really cool to see like a lot of the people that we've been watching over the year open up. We've seen for the first time. Some of them we haven't seen since last year. So let's get straight into it. So, first we had the men's 400, right? One of the things that was really cool about the men's 400 was that we got a chance to see the high school phenom. I forgot his name, but yeah, he's so much of a beast. He ran 44.66. Really talented guy. One of the things that was really interesting about his run was that I'm not sure he was even like trying to pace himself. I think he's just out there to have fun. He knows Oregon is a very fast track. He just came off a Penn Relays track, doing I think it was the New Balance Championship or something like that. He ran 45.13, said he led up towards the line. Now he's in the warm, elite atmosphere of Oregon, University of Oregon at the Olympic trials. I have a feeling his coach just told him, hey, let those legs go. Let's come away with a fast time. I think it's also worth noting was he's not the typical 400-meter guy. He's more of a true, pure 400-meter runner because he ran an 800 earlier in the year, went like 150. So, for a lot of the people who are saying he may have no chance to make it or he may not even make it that far past the first round, you're dealing with someone who's able to handle base because he has able to handle rounds because he has a pretty good base. So I would definitely not sleep on that. He ran like 150 in the 800 early in the year. He has like a PR of like 20, probably like 20.7 or 20.8. He's coming through the 200 in about 20.9 now. So, he's really just letting those legs go. He has the ability to kick at the 400, at the 300. He might very well make it to the last round. The semifinals are today, so we're going to see what kind of happens, but definitely someone to keep an eye on. We saw Michael Norman set up his race really well. He looks good. Looks a little bit bigger, a little bit more muscular. He doesn't have that slender physique that he had post-college. He's a little bit, I feel like, more bulkier. Maybe it's just me. We haven't really seen him in a while. We didn't see him last year, but it was very good to see him. He ran like 45, I believe 3 or 45.1, something like that. He looked really, really good, really smooth. He executed well, pushed out, was able to catch on to the field, and make sure that he was able to bring it on home without too much issues. I saw Quincy. Actually, the high school his name is Quincy Wilson, but we saw the other Quincy who he used to be a 400-meter hurdler. He ran really well. He ran 44 and some change. I did not see his race, but he's looking to bounce back from a pretty dope season last year. He walked away with the bronze medal, just outleaning Vernon Norwood. I think all the usual suspects pretty much made it in without any issues, running either mid to high 44s all the way to low 45s. I'm really looking forward to see who's going to be able to handle and manage the rounds and keep up the consistent nature. And the way we're looking, we've been pretty much saying that the 400-meter dash, or the general idea has been the 400-meter dash on the men's side has been kind of like, here or there. We have, Karani James and we have, Steven Gardner, but Michael Norman has been kind of asleep. Fred Curley decided to run the 100. Vernon Norwood has picked up the mantle. Michael Cherry, I don't know what he's doing. All the usual suspects from these past 2-3 years have been just like kind of in and out. So I have a feeling that a lot of these athletes are starting to rise to the occasion. We have Chris Evans, I think or Christopher Bailey, from he used to be an Arkansas athlete. He's professional now. His rhythm was always great. He kind of reminds me of like a smaller Michael Johnson. He's able to hold that turnover and really be able to kick. It seems like now, if I were to take a guess, is that he comes from the strong side, and he's really been able to like really push the last 150 of his 400-meter dashes. So really dope run. But like I said, the 400-meter dash was a really quality run. We also saw the women's 400-meter dash. That was the sight to see. Alexis Holmes, star of the field, She looked really good. Looked like she's just like, pushed out really well, not really giving it too much effort. She's been at 50 for quite some time throughout the year. I'm very curious if she's gonna start to push the pace to get it down into the 49s by the time she gets to the final round. It wouldn't surprise me she runs like 50 low in the semifinals and then comes back in the finals and runs 49. She went like 51-1 to beat the Arkansas collegian Effiong. She looked pretty good. All the young ladies who were collegiate athletes who ran that swept the Arkansas 400 women's, they all looked pretty good, but a little bit tired. You could tell they kind of ran to the 350, and that last 50 was tough. I mean, they were peaked for those conditions. I'm really hoping that they're able to continue that trend going down, and being able to run fast at the Olympic trials. Shamir Little, she did really well. She was 1 and out. She ran a 50.1, I believe. Looks like a very good time trial kind of run to see what kind of shape that she's in. And man, she looked strong. She looked real strong. That was a quality run. That looked like one of those runs where you've been training, and you just want to kind of see where you're at. And she kind of pushed, and that last 150, you could really see like she just kept pouring it on. So it wouldn't surprise me if she is in like 52 shape right now for the 400-meter hurdles. We'll see how she handles the rounds. But one thing I do know is that she's coached by the Johnson brothers, and they have a really good trend of having really strong 400-meter runners. So I'm really excited to see how she manages that. We saw, a couple more athletes, notable athletes, young ladies who ran the 400. A lot of 50s, a lot of 51s, a lot of 50s, a lot of 52s didn't make it. We saw Courtney Okolo. She skated through with a 51.7. It was good to see her again. There was so many stars of the field that were, ex-collegiate record holders, and it was just really cool to see, those athletes. As we transition to the 100, I don't have a sheet with me, so if I skipped over a name, pardon me. But the next event that kind of took my eye was the women's 100-meter dash. No, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna make y'all wait for it. We had the 800 meters for women. So a couple athletes I was really looking forward to seeing was Athing Mo. Our first time seeing her since she went 153 in the Prefontaine, the last meet of the year last year. After her loss and getting bronze, I believe, in the for 800-meter dash. I mean, she looked pretty good, pretty decent. It's very hard to tell what kind of shape she's in when your PR's a 153 and then you open up in like a 201 or 2 flat or whatever she opened up in. It looked pretty decent. Her stride looked kind of weird though. Very not. I don't want to say it didn't look smooth. It just looked like maybe she wasn't running fast. I don't know. She has a very deceptive stride. Look like she's getting taller. She's like 5'11" or something. All legs, just very sleek, slender build. So I'm very curious to see how she handles the rounds. We haven't seen her in the 1500. We haven't seen her in the 400, but I have a feeling that she's been doing the things in practice necessary to be able to have the stimulus of the 800. But sometimes with strategy and tactics, you only get those when you're in race-specific situations. So we're just going to have to see how she looks. The person who looked the most impressive was Nia Atkins. She looked really great. She's been coming down from altitude. She trains with the Brooks Beast. And she negative split her run. She ran 61 and closed down in 60 to run like 201 for her run. She was in control of the race. She didn't look like she was scared or passive or like she knew when to attack. She just looked really strong. It didn't look like it took a lot out of her. So I think she's in PR shape. And it's going to take being in PR shape to really make sure she kills it. The next person that I saw was that young lady from LSU, last name Rose, Michaela, something like that. Pardon me if I get the name wrong, but her last name is Rose. She really did well. She led the field really, really great. And I think she's a front runner kind of athlete, but she kind of scares me because I have as we see with most front runners, and as you know, this is the same way that she lost the indoor and outdoor titles for NCAA. All you need is someone that's very strong to just stick with her, and she's gonna get out-kicked in like the last 100. She really pushes the pace hard. I think she took it out in like 55 or 56 at the 400, then was at like 29 at the 600, and then finished at like 159, which is unnecessary when the previous heats went 201 and you gapped the entire field of your prelim by like 10 meters. AJ Wilson was in there. I think she went like 201 or something like that, and she qualified through. So I'm not sure if it's like just novice behavior or she's in a really good race rhythm right now because she just came off of NCAA's like 2 weeks ago. But she has to make sure like she uses strategy. It's not a time trial. She's the class of the field in NCAA's in most races in the majority of races that she runs, but she can't. In my opinion, and mind you, I'm not her coach, so she's doing well. But she has to be careful because she's running like a good time trial kind of run, but not, in my opinion, good racing kind of run. So, like I said, she did win her heat, so no qualms with that. But she has to be careful to make sure that she paces herself and don't be the rabbit for a lot of these young ladies who are just as fast as you. They're just kind of holding back, especially when it comes to a thing mo, because it's 3 spots, and you don't want to be the person that's outkicked for 4th and 5th and 6th place. AJ Wilson was pretty cool. I haven't really seen her run too much. She's been seemingly on the decline. It's kind of tough, man. She has such a great career. She's been out here, since she was like a late teen. So it's really great to see like her keep the consistency. I just hope that she's able to, execute to the best of her ability as she finishes these Olympic trials and tries to get top 3. I saw the young lady who won NCAA's this year from Stanford. I don't know her name, but she is very strong, very, very strong. So I'm very interested to see how she does. I'm not sure, is it Penn State or Stanford? The young lady who won NCAA's this year in 800. She looks very strong, so I'm looking forward to see how she does as well. What else? I saw the 1500 men. Their run was pretty cool too. The class of the field to me looked like, if I can remember correctly, like Cole Hawker. He was able to control his heat. He looked very strong from the waist down. He looks like he was just pushing, like he just kept, turning the gears and really pressing and pushing the pace. I think he finished up in like 334, 335. The heat that was really like awful was like the Cooper tier heat. You had like 7 or 8 guys all run within 0.2 of each other or something crazy like that. So it was very unfortunate for a lot of the guys. I think Solomon Waleed runs for Brook Beast. He got like the tail end of that, because he was leading the whole way, and then they just outkicked him and he got tripped from the back. Those are the kind of races where, like, it's kind of tough because it's like you train your whole life, 4 years for this opportunity, in this case 3 years, and it's like you mess up on trying to be passive or trying to like control the race and not win in a dominant fashion. So it's tough, but that's what I saw for the 1500 meter men. No one really stood out to me. I think it's one of those things where everyone's just kind of sitting on the pace. It's not going to really get spicy until we get to the semifinals and finals. I saw, like I said, I saw a lot of the guys. What's that long-legged athlete? He runs for On Running, but yeah, like I said, I just saw a lot of 1500 meter guys that were really doing their thing. So I don't know. We just got to continue to see how it's going. Finally, we had the 100 women, the women's 100, and they looked pretty good as well. I saw, a lot of different talented ladies attempted to qualify. A lot of the commentators were very biased. You had so much talent in the field. I guess it was really hard to go over a lot of them. You see Abby Steiner. She opened up. She ran like 11:1, I believe. She looks pretty good. The person who I feel like did really, really surprised me was Jenna Prandini. 11:0. When's the last time we seen her go 11:0? And she's much more of a 200 meter runner anyway. So what that tells me is that she's going to be a handful in that 200. I think she's in sub 22 shape because she has very good speed endurance. As you could tell, like her acceleration pattern wasn't the best, but when she got up to top end speed and she dipped, she hit 11:07, I believe, and really got in there. Mackenzie Long looks probably the best of the field in terms of like that particular heat or her heat. She's a lot bigger and a lot stronger than I thought she was. Maybe it's just the Adidas uniform, but in her Ole Miss uniform, she didn't look as big and as dominant as she looks now. She looks strong. She looks muscular. You could tell like she's pushing. She still has the rhythm of those PRs in her legs from NCAA. So I'm really looking forward to see how she does. I think she's going to continue to drop down and run some really fast times as long as she stays injury free. Of course, I saw, Melissa Jefferson. She looked good. She had a good rhythm. 1091 is in her legs. She looked really nice. And of course, everyone is talking about Shacarri, whichever one it is. Pardon me if I get that wrong, but she went 1088 while stumbling, while having a weird misstep. And a lot of people are just like, man, like she's going to run a crazy time. And I agree. I think she's in a rhythm of like 10.6, 10.5 low key. I think that little step that she did is a weird feedback step. It's like you punch the ground so hard that you don't even realize like how reactive you are. She looks like so explosive, especially in her quads. She looks so reactive and explosive that her impulse of the rate in which she applies force to the ground is just beyond, I think, what she expected in that particular moment. So when she drove out, it's like as soon as she hit the ground, it's like she already was just pre-explosive. She was just already she was just ready to run. It seemed like, it's a mistimed step, but I feel like her rate is like, it's almost like you warm up and you're ready for 10.6 and then you're trying to hold back and not punch too hard, because if she builds up the momentum as if she's running 10.6, because of her mechanics, when she gets into upright running, she's just going to float to 10.6. I feel like her race is dictated by her first 20, 30 meters. That's just me, coach's eye, whatever. I'm sure other people have other opinions. So, like I said, I'm really interested to see how she does. I think the semifinals is going to be even more of a squeeze. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 ladies, or 3 ladies it's really gonna be a test to see how they do. I think we're literally gonna know how they're gonna do today, because they do the prelims and finals going into day 2, or semifinals and finals going into day 2. So really looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'm looking forward to see how the men do. But yeah, those were the biggest things that kind of stuck out to me in the in the Olympic day ones, the day one. So I'm really excited to see what day 2 is looking like. It's going to come on later on today. I'm probably going to give a feedback on it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully it didn't take too long. I'm hitting 17 minutes now. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any standouts or highlights of your own, go ahead and put it in the comments. Also like and subscribe and comment below if you want to see day 2. And I'll holler at y'all later. This is D Brown with Track Headz. Peace.